Alright, well, it's August 19th, 2012, the release day, at least in the United States, for the 3DS XL. I'm going to do an unboxing and a little bit of a comparison, because I'm rather amused that the 3DS XL box is quite a bit smaller than the regular 3DS box. And take a look at the difference in size there. But it's kind of understandable because the 3DS XL does not include the dock as the original 3DS did, and it doesn't include a pen stylus. Not that that would take up a huge amount of space in the box, but I'm a little disappointed about it. And from what I understand, in Europe and in Japan, they aren't including an AC adapter with the 3DS XL, which I don't really understand. I mean, I know the battery life has improved from the 3DS to the 3DS XL, but I'm sure it's not to the point where you don't need to charge the thing. So I don't really understand what the logic is behind not including the AC adapter, but I am glad that we do have it here in the United States. So I'm going to compare even a little bit farther back than the 3DS. If you take a look, I've already shown you the difference between these two boxes, the 3DS and the 3DS XL. The box for the DSi XL is even bigger. It's gargantuan in comparison. Look at all that extra space. And this does not include a dock, but it does include that pen stylus, which I really do like. So, let's take a look at the packaging here. Very plain. This came out in two colors here in the United States, red and blue. I already got the blue DSi XL, so I thought, why not get the red? In Japan and Europe, I believe they also got a gray or a black color, but I wouldn't have gotten that. I like having some color on these things. So, this is the back, a lot of text. 90% larger screens. From what I understand, these are supposed to be bigger even than the DSi XL screens, so I'm going to be interested to see that. Alright, now let's get this open here. It is sealed on two sides. I'm assuming that this is the side to open given that it has the flap. So I'm going to break these two seals here. This is always a tricky operation if you don't want to mangle the thing too badly. So I do recommend a sharp knife. There we go. Seal's broken, can't return it now. Pop open the flap here. Let's see if I can get this up. There we go. Open the first flap here. Yay, the charger. But you know what? I already have one. It appears that it's going to be the exact same as the DSi XL and the 3DS. So if anyone in Japan or Europe wants one, let me know. What else? Documentation. I will say the presentation in the 3DS and the DSi XL is a bit nicer. With the flip-top box, you just flip it open and there everything is. There are mountains of documentation here. Definitely want to keep my registration code secret, but that's what's almost on top here. Got the AR cards, which I'm assuming are the same ones that came with the 3DS. Club Nintendo registration form. Quick Start Guide, same thing in French and Spanish. And the manual, very thick, but again it's multi-language, probably English, French, and Spanish. So nice, but probably never going to crack it open besides this unboxing. Get those things out of the way here. And what else have we? Alright, it's tucked way down in there. You gotta lift up a flap, and I'm gonna let gravity do the rest here. Oh, that's good to know. This whole little piece comes out. That makes life a little bit easier. Or so it would seem. There we go. Okay. Heard it's got a matte finish. It's smoother than a matte finish, but it's certainly not going to pick up the fingerprints like a regular 3DS would. So let's do a size comparison here. Got my regular 3DS. So yeah, quite a bit bigger there. 3DS XL. It's about this. I'm sorry, DSi XL. DSi XL. It's about the same. Might be not quite as tall. It's not quite as long either. Interesting. It seems to have a smaller outer shell than the DSi XL. But they say the screens are even bigger, so let's take a look at those. Oh my gosh, yeah, definitely. Definitely bigger. Let's take a look here. DSi XL and 3DS XL. Quite a bit bigger. Very nice. And of course, there's no comparison to the original 3DS and the 3DS XL. Excellent. Now, at a glance here, some of the things that were supposed to be different was the circle pad. Circle pad's supposed to have a little bit of a different feel, as are the face buttons. I heard they're supposed to feel a little bit more substantial. And I would agree. And the first thing I'm noticing here is this contoured edge is really nice. It feels a lot nicer than the boxy wedding cake feel. A lot of people have likened this multi-tiered design here to a wedding cake. It's just got so many different like ridges and layers, and it's very boxy. So this is really feels really nice in your hands. And they say the buttons are supposed to feel a little bit more substantial. I do like the way that they feel better than the 3DS buttons. The select, start, and home buttons, they aren't hidden, but like they are in the other one. They aren't these clicky buttons that are hidden behind some sort of label or panel, but they really don't have much give to them. And I gotta tell you, even my start button right here, it doesn't feel like it depresses as much as the other ones, but at least there isn't as much as a click. Feels like you don't have to work as much to get these things to depress, so that's good. So again, like the interior of the 3DS, they're keeping this part black, and I've always heard that that's to minimize distraction, because if you had the same color as the exterior around this 3D screen, I've heard that it would cause a lot of distraction. But one thing I never really understood about that logic is this LED light to let you know that the 3D is on. So I really think that a blaring green light in the right-hand corner of your field of view would really be more distracting than a color around the screen. But that's something they did away with the 3DS XL. While it certainly won't be as distracting, it does give it a little bit of a cheaper feel, which I'm sure there was some cost reduction going on here as well. But the 3D slider feels just as good as the other one. It's just not backlit. So hopefully it won't be as distracting. What else do we have here? We have volume on the other side, which is a more substantial slider. I never liked this volume slider. It's very small on the 3DS. This one's a lot bigger. I like that. Got the the lanyard strap moved, and it's metal now instead of just plastic. There's a little metal cross piece in there. And it appears there's two. Looks like there's another one on the other corner. Okay, got the headphone jack, which apparently has been moved. It's been moved from the middle of the 3DS to the lower left of the 3DS XL. So you've got the power light and the charging light here. And this is your slider to turn on and off wireless connectivity. The SD card slot has been completely moved. It was on the left-hand side of the system before. Now it's on the right-hand side of the system. But it apparently opens the same way. And they do give you an SD card, a whole 4 gigs, which is nice. I don't really know what the size of the one they gave you in the 3DS was. Let's take a look at that again. It's probably going to yell at me because you're not supposed to take it out while it's on. 2 gigs, so that's good. 2 cameras on the front. In the back, you got your card slot and charger, infrared port. I think that takes care of everything but the stylus, which in my opinion is one of the best improvements. For those of us who are right-handed anyway. They do say it's a right-handed person's world, and that's certainly the case as well with the 3DS XL. Stylus is in the right position now. Easy access. You don't have to go feeling around the top of the system, hold it like this, reach around, as you did here where they had it. No longer telescoping. They obviously had to have it telescoped so that it could fit into the system. But I gotta tell you, I'm disappointed with the feel of this stylus. It feels really light and cheap, especially in comparison to some of the more recent styluses, or styli. And taking a look at the tip, it doesn't even seem to be a separate piece of plastic. This thing seems to have really gone a cheaper route, which is disappointing. But I usually tend to use the pen stylus from the DSi XL anyway, so that won't be too much of an issue. Well, I think the next step is turning it on and seeing what the differences are. I know that I'm going to have to go through a lengthy setup and transfer of all my old 3DS data onto this one, including the electronic version of New Super Mario Bros. 2, which I just downloaded last night. So that could take a while. So I'll cut out all that and come back once I've got a comparison screen going on. But for now, we'll just turn it on. See what you're going to see when you first power it up. I will say this feels a lot nicer in your hand. I think I'm going to go with English here. Okay, buttons aren't going to work. Touch screen it is. Oh, okay, my bad. You have to hit OK once you select it. There we go. Check the 3D depth slider to the right of the upper screen is all the way up. Then tap next. View the screen straight on. 12 to 16 inches away. The upper screen can display images in 3D. Tap the button to see. This is always cool. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see it on the video. Pretty. Boing. 3D images being displayed. Use the depth slider to adjust the intensity. I usually put it right towards the middle. A happy medium kind of guy. Finally, you may want to set up parental controls. I may, but I'm not going to. System has been configured. Alright, so press home. And the buttons, while they're bigger, they're still hard to press. They aren't harder to press, but they aren't, I guess you wouldn't want to hit the home button accidentally, so that's why, but the start and select buttons are still pretty tough, too. Alright, nothing inserted into the game card slot. Well, let's fix that. Gonna put in the retail copy of New Super Mario Bros. 2. And you may know that I also did a video last night on the unboxing of the eShop version of this game, which is the same price. I really don't understand that. I thought that digital downloads, the hook, line, and sinker for those was to be cheaper. But that's not the case with this. This costs $40 in stores, and it costs $40 through the eShop. And I even got charged $2.50 for tax where I live. So it really wasn't a deal as far as the game is concerned. But I guess what Nintendo's trying to do is entice you with coins for Club Nintendo. You get 50 coins if you register this retail version of the game, and you get 100 coins if you register the E version of the game, which I have right here, if you can see that on my 3DS. So I am eventually going to do a system transfer. I'm not going to make you wait through all of that, but since I do have the game in two forms here, the E version and the the E version and the store version, let's just take a look at the screens and see what the difference is. I wanted to buy the retail version at launch because Club Nintendo also says if you, few weeks to a month before a game is released, if you indicate that you intend to buy the game on launch day, they give you 10 extra coins. So I got 60 coins for registering the retail version and 100 coins for registering the E version. So let's stick that in.
New Super Mario Brothers 2.
Alright. Yeah, one thing I'll say, people have been saying that it's harder to find the sweet spot with these bigger screens. Let's see. Do I agree with that? I do, kind of. Of course, I've only spent a few seconds with it. I'm going to have to play with it before I can decide whether or not that's really the case, but you've always had to juggle it around to get your sweet spot as far as the 3D is concerned. But I think there may be some truth to that, the bigger screens make the sweet spot harder to find. But there you go, side by side, the screens. Quite a difference. I am really looking forward to playing New Super Mario Bros. 2, not only with the bigger screen, but now that I know how much more comfortable this one is to hold. It's bigger, it's more substantial in your hand, and it just feels good. And plus, this Mario game, unlike Super Mario 3D Land, really doesn't benefit at all from 3D effect. So since I downloaded it last night, I've been playing the game with the 3D turned off altogether, and that way I don't need to worry about finding that sweet spot. So let's get them going. Oh, they aren't at the same spot. That's right. Preparing to start the game. Yeah, we went through all this last night. Spot pass, all that stuff. There we go. Oh, hey, come on. There we are. Do a comparison of the speakers. Wow. That's a little disappointing. I would say that the original 3DS is quite a bit louder than the 3DS XL. See if you can tell the difference. This is the 3DS XL. And now the 3DS. I was always really impressed with the speakers on the 3DS. That's a little disappointing. I wouldn't be surprised if that's a cost-saving measure or a battery-saving measure, reducing the power of the speakers. Either way, it's a little bit unfortunate. But anyway, overall, I am very much looking forward to playing this game on the 3DS XL. Very comfortable to hold, the buttons feel better, the screen is absolutely gorgeous. Only a couple drawbacks that I've seen so far. So overall, I'm excited with the purchase of the 3DS XL. The only other thing that I'm going to include in this unboxing is the strategy guide. I buy a strategy guide for all the first party Nintendo games that I buy. And now that Nintendo Power is no longer handled by Nintendo itself, they used to do all the strategy guides. Prima's been doing them now since about 2007 or 2008. And they do a fairly good job. This guide, I don't know what to make of it, because the spine's on the top. This guide doesn't open like a typical book. It opens like this. And I still have it in the shrink wrap. I'm not going to take it off right now because that would just be awkward on film. But if you take a look at the screenshots here, it looks like the pages have a horizontal or landscape orientation. So it's really a wide book, which I guess is all right. But what's going to be irritating is if I wanted to put it on my strategy guide shelf, which of course I do, it's going to be sticking out from all the others if I want the spine to be shown, or if I put it in like all the other strategy guides, there isn't going to be any spine at all. So that's a little disappointing, but oh well. I'm not really sure what the whole point of having it be like a steno pad is, and then once you open it, it's not even oriented like a steno pad, but whatever. I'd say it's a lot better than that mini version of the Mario Kart 7 guide. I don't know if you noticed that, but Mario Kart 7 has two versions of its guide. A full-size guide and then a mini guide. So, that's that. Hope you enjoyed my first unboxing of new hardware on day one. See you guys later.